aging superstars, the league's worst quarterback room, and one of the NFL's worst salary cap situations, the New Orleans Saints are Madden 26's worst team, which means they also make for the game's most difficult rebuild. But you best believe Coach RBT is stepping in to make sure Saints fans can smile again, as this rebuild doesn't end until we bring the Lombardi Trophy back to New Orleans. But this one is gonna take all of my heart and soul, boys. I mean, they're so bad they made the Honey Badger retire. And when it comes to this roster, dude, the scary thing is maybe outside of some of the young offensive linemen and maybe outside of Chris Olave, there's really nobody else in this offense that I have in my long-term plans, which I also don't believe Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck's the permanent solution here at quarterback. And also, as depressing as it is, with Alvin Kamara hitting 30 years old, I really don't think he's gonna be around much longer here in New Orleans. And kind of similar vibes here on defense, man, because again, outside, let's say maybe Justin Reed, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Brian Brees, and maybe Carl Granderson, I don't feel like we have that many long-term starters on this side of the ball either. Like our guy, Demario Davis, the only X factor in the entire team, is already 36 years old. Same thing with Cameron Jordan, dudes. They're probably going to retire after this season, so maybe we even trade them away this year. It's just like with the minuscule talent and the aging superstars, I don't see any planet where we can realistically bring a Super Bowl back to New Orleans any sooner than like 5 seasons. Now, we are going to be doing a few things a little bit different in this particular rebuild. First of all, not signing Christian Wilkins. Although to replace the retiring Honey Badger, I think we're going to sign Jabril Peppers. Already a lot better. This Beanie Bishop fella is a guy I've never signed in a rebuild ever. He's only 25 years old, already a 75 overall. Only has normal dev though. Still going to sign him because he already comes in as our cornerback number 2. Like, it's never a good thing when your second best corner is one of the only players in your entire team that doesn't have a face. What makes this rebuild even harder is, like, outside of the guys we've already mentioned, like Demario Davis, Alvin Kamara, and Cameron Jordan, who are all probably going to retire within a season or two, like, even the other players we have that are pretty good on our team, like Eric McCoy and Justin Reed, and the recently signed Jabril Peppers, like, they're also getting on up there 28, 29 years old. So, like, even they're going to start to go down in overall within a season or two. Like, I'm just telling you guys, like, we are so screwed. Obviously, not expecting anything this first season, so what I am probably going to do here is go ahead and simulate to the season's midway point. And once we reveal that we're like 0-9 at that point, maybe go ahead and trade some of our stars away. And something else we're doing different for the very first time in Madden 26 is I am going to be using a custom draft class to draft some real rookies in the upcoming draft. If the draft class sucks, don't blame me. 1-6, boys. Everything is going to plan because we currently own the number 2 overall draft pick. Which, who's actually doing worse than us? Of course, the Browns. Brother, they have scored 44 points less than anybody else in the National Football League. Brother, they have literally scored more than 13 points once the entire season. They've only scored more than 10 points twice the entire season. Somehow, we need them to go on a winning streak here so we can end up with the number 1 pick. Which our only win has came against the New England Patriots in week 6. Why do the Patriots have to suck so bad, dude? Which, with us doing so bad, dude, I think the smart thing to do is trade away some of our talent here at the trade deadline. First, let's actually advance into next week, which is the actual trade deadline, and hopefully we lose again. Let's go! Oh my god, we got ourselves our miracle, boys, as the Browns apparently won last week, which currently gives us the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. And to make sure that we keep losing and hold on to that number 1 pick, it's time to trade away some talent. But first, a few things that I do want to check out, such as us having the 21st best offense in the National Football League. Our defense is even worse. Spencer Rattler is actually having a pretty decent season, but he's gonna have to keep this up and probably actually take it up another notch in the second half for us to give him any legitimate consideration of being our actual quarterback of the future. Kamara, not bad, you know, for being on a terrible team, but as you see on the tag, he is a trade target. Who's not a trade target is Chris Olave, leading the team 511 yards, 3 touchdowns. He is one of the few players right now that are untouchable. Rashid Shaheed, decent season. Brandon Cooks, maybe I can even trade him away. Taysom Hill, I'm not gonna lie, completely forgot about him. And brother, this defense is diabolical. Halfway point of the season, and our leading sack getter has 2.5. I could pick somebody up in the local YMCA that could produce more than this. But now, boys, I think it's officially time to tear this team apart even more, heightening the Saints fan base depression levels by beginning our fire sale sale with Alvin Kamara. Easily will go down as one of the best running backs in Saints history, but as of now, dude, let's go ship him off to a team where he actually can compete for a Super Bowl. Which unfortunately, it looks like the offers that we're getting in return are pretty freaking garbage. Maybe we can get something half decent from the Broncos? I mean, at this point, brother, we are just looking for draft picks and draft picks only. Maybe we can catch him in a bit of desperation, have him ship on a first round selection. It's about halfway to being accepted. Now, do the Broncos want anybody else by chance? Broncos need a left guard, and we have Trevor Penning here who's on an expiring contract. So we are going to go renegotiate some contracts following the fire sale. Does this so happen help out the deal? Not really. Maybe Devon could be enough to get our trade accepted. He's 30 years old. He's just going to go down in overall every season, so why not try it? An extra first round pick would be massive, boys. Massive for this rebuild, and it's in the yellow. Oh, is this like where I throw in a couple of later picks and see if I can just trade up? Because like even giving away a 5th and a 6th would be huge if we can get a first round pick in return. Go ahead, submit this bad boy through, and it's declined, but we are so close. Oh, maybe Julian Blackmon. I didn't even think about that. Behind Jabril Peppers, who I think I might lock down to a long-term deal if he wants to stay in New Orleans. He's an 80 overall, so like he has to help somewhat. Denver, please give me that first round pick. And the trade was accepted. The Howie Roseman of Madden back at it again. Which, I mean, this is quite a bit to trade away, dude, but I can't help but think we just did some finessing here. I mean, hopefully the Broncos end up falling off in the second half of the season, and this 18th projected pick turns into a top 10 pick. But you guys best believe the fire sale isn't even close to being done yet. Cameron Jordan, Brandon Cooks, Taysom Hill. I know we probably won't get much out of this deal because of these three players, the average age of like 33, but maybe a contender would give us something for them. Can always test out the get offers button. And not gonna lie, fellas, offers not looking way too promising, but we can get something in return. Trayvon Walker from the Jags. Hold the phone. There is no way they're offering me 24-year-old Trayvon Walker for the dialysis home. You know what? Let's see if we can actually get something a little bit more here. I mean, he's 24 years old. I don't know. Is he on an expiring contract? He has 2 years left. I mean, he's coming off 2 consecutive double-digit sack seasons, and this year's on pace for what, 15? What are the Jags thinking, dude? I mean, what are the odds I could trade up a little bit here? Could I get a second round pick from the Jags if I threw in my third? Or maybe even I could trade away a future third. So a future third for a this year's second. This would be highway freaking robbery, boys. It is close. It is close. But if we also threw in a 2028 4th round selection, trade is still declined. I mean, screw it, dude. What do we need a late round pick for anyway? Especially if we can add ourselves another second round pick from this upcoming draft. It's diabolical, dude. It is disgusting. Don't know what the Jags are doing, but at the end of the day, dudes, I am not asking questions. So we now own 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a 3rd round pick in this upcoming draft. Still not done, boys. We still have big 90 overall X-Factor Demario Davis that we hopefully can maybe get another 1st round pick for. Still don't know if I want to use Rashid Shaheed in a package, though. I know what we need to do first. Before we trade away Demario Davis, we need to go and try and do some contract negotiations, which Rashid Shaheed has absolutely zero interest in re-signing, so maybe we do ship him on. Now, Jabril Peppers, on the other hand, does want to stay in New Orleans. I know he's 29, but even with a 3-year deal, by the time he's 32, he'd probably still be like an 84, 85 rated, which is much better than what we currently have. Now, outside of that, we could sign Trevor Penning to a long-term deal to be a backup guard for us. Wouldn't be terrible depth. You know, maybe even 4 years. Give him that little offer. You can never go wrong with having halfway talented backup offensive line depth. Beanie Bishop, brother, what do we do with you? Up to a 76, only 25, so like why not try to lock him down to a long-term deal? Maybe he could develop into a good cheap option at cornerback, maybe a good long-term cornerback number 3. Beanie Bishop without a face loves him some Bourbon Street. Talk about backup offensive lineman Dylan Raduns, a former Tennessee Titan, by the way. I'll give you a little 3-year deal. I'm not gonna cry over you though. That's what I thought, Dylan. And you know what, dude? Blake Groupie here. Jr., our captain at kicker. Only a 74 overall, but like who cares? I'm gonna lock him down to a 7-year contract, and we had better hope to God by the time his contract is over with, we have brought a Super Bowl back to New Orleans at that point. Something a nice lad named Bingle told me is a good thing to do is go into your coach abilities and unlock Camp Counselor, which I have the points to do so. We're gonna max these out as much as physically possible. And now when it comes to next preseason in the training camp, if we actually complete it, we should get ourselves a massive boost. And I believe we can even go and do the same exact thing to our offensive coordinator, so we can give him Camp Counselor. I mean, if this actually ends up working like Bingle says it does, this is gonna be so freaking overpowered. Now let's go and see what we can get for old Demario Davis. I mean, we're getting offered Kyler Gordon, Trent Brown, Joey Bosa, Cortland Sutton. I feel like, ooh, even Nolan Smith and a 2nd round pick. Brother, hold on a second. This is stressing me out, dude. This is so much talent for a 36-year-old grandpa. I mean, if I get Nolan Smith, dude, I feel like at that point, we'd have our edge rusher set for the entire rebuild. Like, instead of these late picks, can I just get another 1st-round pick, this time from Philadelphia, currently projected to 23rd selection? Imagine the scenes. Imagine the freaking scenes, boys, and the trade is declined, which is fair. But if I did go ahead and throw Rashid Shaheed in the deal, didn't move at all. Again, I feel like that's very fair. What if I tried to snag a 2nd and maybe a 3rd out of the deal? Oh, it's close. It is close, boys. You know what? You can take Foster Moreau. 1 year left in his contract. We're not going to re-sign him. He definitely could use some tight end depth in Philadelphia. Come on, brother. Give me an extra 2nd, an extra 3rd, and the trade officially accepted. Like, what in the world is going on? Last but not least, boys, still want to get something for Rashid. Not expecting anything too crazy. I mean, Riley Moss would even be nice to be another long-term option at cornerback for us. I feel like that's by far the best offer we got. And what are the odds we could also squeeze something else out of this deal? Like maybe swap a 3rd for another 2nd? How about this? The later 3rd for the Broncos 2nd, and it's in the green. We have anybody else that we could potentially trade away to see this deal through? I mean, we've pretty much gotten rid of like every bit of talent humanly possible. We do have 2 more cornerbacks on expiring deals, maybe Alontae Taylor. How about that? Trade is closer. I mean, like, we really don't have anybody else to. We'll try it, though. Trade still declined. What if we said screw it and got rid of both the corners on 1-year deals? Is that enough? No, but we are getting somewhere. Hopefully, a few late future picks is all it's gonna take. Poetry, boys. Poetry written by Pablo Picasso himself. Safe to say, this was a pretty successful fire sale, boys, as we now own 2 1st-round picks, 4 2nd-round picks, and a 3rd in this upcoming draft. Not gonna lie, before we send the second half of the season, there's some decent available free agents that might could help us in the future. I mean, we're not even close to a full roster currently, so why not re-sign DJ Jones? Also, get ourselves our Alvin Kamara replacement. We need bodies at wide receiver right now, so Odell Beckham Jr. bringing him back to New Orleans for the first time since college. Need bodies at tight end right now, so why not just sign Mercedes Lewis, give him a little bit more playing time before he inevitably retires. There's also a 74 overall cornerback just sitting out there, 25 years old. Like, why not? You could maybe progress to an 80. Like David Ojabo, dude, not bad depth at defensive end. Like, why are these guys free agents right now? Like, with how little talent we have on our team right now, any player out there with any bit of potential helps. Like, even though we're kind of deep at DN right now, Drake Jackson, 24-year-old, 73 overall edge, don't mind if I do. And Joe Flacco, too, man. Like, I know he's not going to start for me, but he is a mentor, and maybe he could help out Spencer Rattler. Now, let's hope that fire sale was successful enough that we can simulate the playoffs here and hopefully not win another game all season long. Ooh, so we did end up winning 3 more games. Really hope that doesn't screw up our draft pick, which it does say we have the worst record in the NFL, but sometimes it'll say this and give this team the #1 pick, so like I wouldn't get too excited just yet. But at absolute worst, we have the 2nd pick. That's fine. I do want to check out the latest mock draft. It says we have the #1 pick, and it says we are going to select Arch Manning, which again, absolutely no idea how good he'll be in this draft class, although it does say he's a top 5 talent, which we could potentially trade down and pass up on Arch, and maybe take a wide receiver in Jordan Tyson, maybe go cornerback, maybe get another edge rusher, maybe trade down and get K. Klubnik. Who knows what we're going to do here? I mean, again, I don't feel like Spencer Rattler is the future of this franchise, so quarterback is probably the move, but the only question, again, is do I trade down, maybe get a Klubnik and Nussmeier, maybe even a Lenore Sellers, dude? Like, tough decisions to be made. But first, let's go see how we won 3 more games in the second half of the season after our fire sale than we did in the first half. So we beat the Dolphins, we beat my Titans, and we beat the Falcons, finishing with one of the NFL's worst offenses. I'm assuming one of the worst defenses. Yeah, it looks like the 6th worst. Which again, dude, Spencer Rattler wasn't bad. 3,700 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 picks. Completion percentage kind of stinky, but he comes in as a 76 overall, so even if we do end up drafting Arch, maybe we could trade him away for something half decent. On the ground, obviously, as you can see, Rico Dowdle, not a long-term option, but he filled in, okay for us. Chris Olave, again, super excited to have him for a long time, hopefully. 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns. This is exactly why, my friends, he was untouchable. How about some of the players we picked up defensively? Trayvon Walker, again, I will never understand why the Jags did this. He finished the season with 15 sacks. Behind him, we still have Chase Young, had 8.5. Nolan Smith was 6. I'm telling you, dude, I feel like we have our pass rushers for the future already. Matt Stafford wins MVP, Josh Allen behind him. Oh god, dude, this game isn't realistic. Did have Chris Olave get some Offensive Player of the Year votes for us. Had our new acquiree, Trayvon Walker, come in 6. Even with the stinky season, I feel like for the first time in a long time, the future is looking bright here in New Orleans. I mean, even after the fire sale, dude, team still at 81 overall, 81 offense, 83 defense. Got rookie Kelvin Banks up to an 80. Eric McCoy at an 89. Ruiz at an 80. Fuaga at a 79. So outside of Trevor Penning, dude, looks like the future of this offensive line is in good hands. Now we got Trayvon Walker and Nolan Smith both in the 80s. Dude, even our cornerback room is showing some promise. And while we can still do it, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the camp counselor as much as physically possible. Well, you can even do it with the defensive coordinator too, dude. This is going to be so overpowered if it works right. Hopefully Bingo is not a liar. But fellas, it is time for things to get even crazier, although that seems impossible at this point. But it is time to get into our first legitimate offseason, where who knows what the heck is going to happen. It's definitely going to help out this offseason that we have $90 million to spend. And you know what? Aaron Rodgers, fair play, brother, with a Super Bowl win over the Packers. I just realized that. Which I do want to see, my friends, if by chance we had any depth trait increases. Chris Olave up to X Factor, which we will absolutely take. Although not so much luck on defense. I think everybody's pretty much the exact same as where they started. Now, what's the latest mock draft say? Has us still going Arch Manning number 1. I forgot, we have another pick later in the first round. Actually, we get pick number 9. We get 2 first-round picks, and it has us going Peter Wood of Clemson. Which, honestly, who knows what we do, man? We got some tough decisions to make. First, though, I do want to see if there's any other players I want to re-sign. Ooh, so Nolan Smith. I do have to accept his 5th-year option, so I'm going to have to give him big money the next offseason. But absolutely. Now, Brian here. I don't think I'm actually going to accept his 5th-year option, because he's only a 76 overall, and I have to pay him $24 million if we accept it. Absolutely not. Now, McMillan here, I signed him out of free agency at the trade deadline, and he wants to re-sign a long-term deal. So, why not just add more cornerback depth as possible if we can get it for cheap? And we do. Now, David Ajabo, 74 overall, would cost about $5 million per season, which isn't terrible for a long-term good depth at the defensive end position that can continue to get better and better. I'll even offer him a little 3-year deal, up it a little bit, like you to stick around for a little while, and he does. Now, do I do the same thing with Drake Jackson here is the big question. Will also cost about $5 million per season, but if that's the case, dude, I would never have to sign another edge the rest of this rebuild as long as we can win a Super Bowl in the next few seasons. So how about another 3-year offer, up the money just a tad? Okay, fellas, I guess we're locked into the edge position. Now, DJ Jones here, another guy we signed at the midway point of the season. He's interested in re-signing. I mean, he's at 82 overall, would probably be our best defensive tackle, definitely better than Breesy here. If worse comes to worse and we have another bad season next year, he could be another guy we trade away for some draft picks. It's not a long-term deal, so why not? Send the offer out there, and we get another successful contract negotiation. And with this being all that's left, dude, I feel like that was pretty successful. Now time to get into actual free agency, where we're gonna have about $50 million to spend. And I'm not gonna lie, fellas, there is some talent out there. Main guy I am eyeing is Leo Chenal here. 85 overall, same pay him linebacker, which is by far the highest overall in the entire game, and we can lock him down for relatively cheap because he has a lot of interest joining the Saints rebuild for some reason. So I'll give him a base little 5-year offer, see what he says. Oh, not even close. So what if we just made this a very low risk offer? Oh, I hate it when we're tied with other teams, dude, because you just never know what's gonna happen. I feel like Quay Walker would also be a pretty good signing, dude. I've never seen him available in free agency. He'll by far be our best will linebacker. So I feel like I'm gonna throw out a pretty low risk offer here, about $8 million per season, which I believe is fair. And again, unfortunately, tied with other teams who apparently the Raiders and 49ers are in for both the guys we're after, but hopefully, just hopefully, I, as the head coach, can sell them on the Saints rebuild. Now, I don't think I'm actually going to offer George Pickens because he has zero interest in joining us, which means I'd have to overpay him by $1 billion. I wouldn't mind overpaying for Elijah Vera Tucker, a rather young offensive lineman, very, very talented, and would be a great Trevor Penning replacement. We are going to have to overpay quite a bit, though, because he also has zero interest. Let's see how this offer's looking. Not too far behind the Chargers. What if we upped it to like $20 million a season? Still behind Los Angeles. My God, Elijah, do you hate New Orleans that much? I've gone back and forth on this for a hot freaking minute, boys. The amount of money I'm going to have to offer him to be his #1 offer is absolutely disgusting. We are at least finally tied with the Chargers. What sucks, though, is we are literally not in the lead for any of the guys that we are targeting. Although, I mean, we're tied for the lead, but it doesn't really mean anything. We could land all three. We could miss out on all three. Oh, it just makes this so stressful, dude. But all we can do from here, brother, is send these offers through. Signing these three would expedite this rebuild drastically. All three players have decided one way or another. The good news, boys, is it only says we have $3 million in cap room. So if my 75 IQ calculated math is correct, if we pin over to my signings, we have signed all three targets, which I think at the end of the day means I overpaid a lot. But we do add Quay Walker, Leo, Elijah Vera Tucker to the New Orleans Saints, which already brings the squad up to an 83 overall with an 83 offense and 84 defense. And we still have the draft to go here, boys. Let's triple check here. Yes, we do come in with pick #1 in the NFL draft. Now, what if I traded back with the Bears here? Because obviously Arch Manning is the guy we're going to go after, but like the Bears have Caleb Williams. Like, do I take the risk here? Like, would they be willing to give me like their 2nd round pick from this year and maybe like a 2nd round pick from next year? Unless they give me something crazy, I'm not gonna do it. Send it through. Oh no, I probably could have gotten more. Please, please, please do not tell me they take Arch Manning. There's no way, right? They have Caleb Williams at quarterback. No shot. TJ Parker goes #1, which now I'm wondering if I should do the same thing with the Patriots here. Because again, there's just no planet where they take Arch Manning while they have Drake May. So what in the world could I also get from the Patriots here? Like, is this where instead of getting draft picks, since I have enough, I try and acquire some decent player? Although I don't really know they have anybody that I'm actually interested in, you know, unless they want to slide me Christian Gonzalez, which I guess I kind of do just want to try. Just kidding. I mean, I guess if this was to end up working, I wouldn't mind trading away a Trey Palmer, and it is actually so much closer than what I anticipated, dude. Do I actually try this? The Beanie Bishop, who doesn't have a face, do I try trading him away? We'll submit it into the universe, and it didn't move. But dude, like, I have all those 2nd round picks, like pick 49. Do I try this? It didn't move up that much, but I also do have an extra 2nd round pick from next year. We can try that, and it's in the green. But I think from that point, all I'm really willing to do is trade away my last 2nd round pick from this year, and the trade is still in the green, and it's like really got me wondering, is this worth it? I mean, it's Christian Gonzalez, dude. So you know what? Let me cook. Let me see if I can throw in somebody other than Trey Palmer, somebody that they might actually want. Like Jawan Johnson, maybe, since they need a tight end. Surely that's not all it's going to take, right? Like, surely not. Oh my God. Oh my God. We did have to throw in 3 seconds, which is kind of crazy. I had to throw in Bishop and Jawan Johnson. But at the same time, we pick up arguably the greatest cornerback in the National Football League. Which at the end of the day, brother, there's just no way, right? There's no way to take Arch Manning when they have Drake May at quarterback. It's just not going to happen. That's not our Arch Manning. Who is this? A receiver? Jordan Tyson, who I did actually want. We're not going to be able to get him, but it doesn't freaking matter. We're not risking it anymore. I'm not going to lie. I was a little nervous. But the tank for Arch is officially successful. And at the same time, we were able to work the boards like Houdini. Arch Manning, welcome back to your hometown, brother, as you're going to be the future of this New Orleans Saints franchise. As he comes in as the #1 rated player in the entire NFL draft, as he's already apparently experienced New Orleans nightlife. And of course, comes in with hidden development, 84 excel, 83 agility, 86 speed with 95 throw power. I mean, to be fair, I didn't look at any of his core attributes, but like at the end of the day, dude, it's Arch Manning. I knew he was going to be good. I mean, he's struggling in real life, but again, dude, I had to play by the hands of whoever made this roster, which I have another pick here in the first round, and I don't know why the draft board disappeared. Now, we don't really need offensive tackle. Like, I could possibly use a tight end since we just traded away Juwan Johnson, or I could trade down and maybe target a defensive tackle like Reuben Bain out of Miami, who I know is an absolute freaking stud, because somebody might want to trade up here, try to get a Garrett Nussmeier or Lenore Sellers. So unfortunately, it looks like the offers here aren't looking too fantastic. Best offer here, trade back 7 spots to pick up a third with the Raiders. Maybe I can squeeze out a second instead. It's declined, but we're getting somewhere. Maybe we could trade away Trey Palmer. Also throw in Isaac Yiadom. So how about just those two? I swear this game is so stupid. So throwing in newly re-signed Dylan here will help us afford these draft picks. Please tell me this is enough for another second round selection. That is insanity. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to trade away a 5th round pick, dude, because we don't have a 7th. Screw it though, if it's enough to give me another 2nd round pick, it is 100% worth it. Really hoping one of those defensive tackles are still available, which unfortunately, I don't think they are. That's so unfortunate. I know running back is crazy at 16, but it's one of our biggest positions of need at this point. So honestly, it's gonna come down to Jeremiah Love or Nicholas Singleton. Oh dude, is this where I kind of just trust my gut? Like, I personally feel like Jeremiah Love is the better prospect. This is all about what the draft class maker did. And I just feel like with him being higher on the board, he's got to be higher overall. So this is where it gets tricky when it's not an auto-generated draft class and it's a draft class made by somebody else out there. But Jeremiah Love, put my faith in you. I think he's going to be a 1st round pick in real life. Hopefully, he can be our long-term Alvin Kamara replacement, and he comes in as the 4th ranked player in the entire draft class, and hopefully, most importantly, comes in with hidden development, my friends. Oh my gosh, fellas, what a start to this one. So can we continue to hit as we move into the 2nd round? I mean, I kind of want to go tight end, but I also kind of want to go wide receiver. Well, one guy that I do really want to target is Nick Harbor here, who is a scheme fit. I could wait probably a little bit longer since there's so many good wide receivers. At the same time, I feel like I should go tight end. Max Clare from Ohio State. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to go Max, and then maybe go wide receiver next pick. Max, please, don't let me down. Don't be a stinker. He's sort of a stinker. I mean, hidden development, so not terrible. It is a position of need. But at the end of the day, fellas, definitely not as good as our last few picks. I think I'm going to go back-to-back receiver here. I'm going to take Nick Harbor with the next pick that I have if he doesn't get taken. So the question is, do I go Mekhi Lemon, Kevin Conception, or Carnell Tate? I might go Mekhi Lemon since he is a scheme fit. I don't know if he's going to be good or not. He's relatively fast. Has some pretty good attributes outside of deep route running. Maybe a Kevin Conception here who ran a 4.31 40-yard dash. You know what? I'm going to believe in the scheme fit. It worked at the running back position. Hopefully, it will also work at the wide receiver position. Mekhi Lemon, please, dear God, don't be a bust. Don't be a stinker. Comes in at 11 in true value as an NFL-ready pass catcher. Most importantly, hidden development, 93 excel, 92 agility. Still don't understand why everybody we draft looks like they're on cocaine. And as long as we don't get sniped, boys, which I don't believe is going to happen, I hope not. I'm gonna go for a reach because he's just too freaking good. I really hope this isn't stupid. I mean, he's just too freaking fast to pass up on him. Man, right now, 4.24 40-yard dashes pro day. I mean, he has some pretty wonky skills in there. Also, a bad deep route runner. But I'm gonna believe in the 6'5", 235 demon. Believe in the attributes. Believe in the skill set. And Nicholas comes in as the 18th ranked player in true value. Speed, speed, speed. 98 speed with hidden dev trait is nasty work. Ooh, only one more second, and then we have another pick in the 3rd round. So let's hopefully, boys, make the most of this. No point in going after any more receivers. I'm wondering if defensive tackle is something we need to look at. And as you guys always know, when it comes to tackles, when it comes to linemen, a great indicator of a good overall is the bench press, which we have projected UDFA Jeremy Clayton with 38 reps, and another UDFA Zach Ross with 37, but then you have Earl Cartwright and Corey Hamilton, who are projected 3rd to 4th rounders with 36 and 37. Maybe we just go with the fella who had more bench press reps, and to be fair, I do believe he had more Bs. Don't let me down, Earl. Please, dear God, be a decent pick. 22nd in true value, got him at 48. Do you want to see what the other guy's overall was at the end of the draft? But at the end of the day, dude, I am over the moon with Earl here. So the first pick in the 3rd round is going to be our last pick in the draft before we go see what everybody's overall was. And I genuinely have no idea what to do here, fellas. Been looking, and we do need depth at middle linebacker, and Tareen York is a scheme fit, and he's the only guy I'm really interested in. The rest of these guys I think are pretty garbage. Problem is, though, he didn't participate at the combine, but the good indicator is he has A awareness and A hit power. I mean, I could be feeling just a little bit too spontaneous, but Tareen, you're going to be the pick here, and you're going to come in as the 56th best player. Got him at 65, so I mean, it's not a bust by any means. He also comes in with hidden development, 86 speed, 90 acceleration at middle linebacker is crazy. Man, I'm happy that we landed all hidden dev players, but in the day, like, it might just be a boosted draft class and somebody created this. But regardless, over the moon with how things have gone up to this point, but since we have no more picks remaining, we're going to simulate to the end of the draft and see if that class is actually as good as it seems. Now, this is the big one, boys, to set up the foundation of this rebuild, to reveal the overalls of everybody we drafted, and it's important they're good because apparently we have no more money left over. It is time to reveal greatness. Oh my God. Arch Manning, 80 overall. Jeremiah Love, 78 overall. Even Max Clare, who I didn't think was that great of a pick, 74 overall. Makai Lemon, a 77. Nick Harbor, a 76. Cartwright was a 75, and York, who's going to be our backup middle linebacker, is a 73. I mean, obviously, this isn't as good, you know, if this was like 7th round picks or anything, but even with this having 7 picks in the top 3 rounds, I think this is a banger class. Oh, the other D tackle, Corey Hamilton, I was looking at, was actually higher overall than the D tackle we drafted. But do you think I'm complaining about this dude? Absolutely freaking not. In the next season, looking at the lineup, not too shabby. Team coming in at an 84 overall across the board, and the good thing, dude, is this team is so freaking young now. Defense too, man. For the most part, everybody is like 27 years old and younger outside of Jabril Peppers, I believe. But outside of that, dude, everybody else on the team is super, super young and is just going to continue to progress throughout their rookie seasons. The only thing that's going to screw us, I think, is the running back position. Although Jeremiah Love has all the potential in the world. Unfortunately, if you're not like an 85 overall or above running back, you don't do too good in sim, so don't expect him to have a great rookie season or anything. Obviously, everything now in the hands of Arch Manning and his development. Now, few things first though, boys. Spencer Rattler here, who I believe had a really good year last season as a starter, I feel like we can trade him away and get something pretty freaking decent in return. Like, after seeing what we did preseason, I feel like we could use ourselves a long-term option at the defensive tackle position, because Brian Brees, we're not going to re-sign him probably. He's going to ask for too much money, definitely not his 5th-year option. So if we package DJ Jones in a deal here with Spencer Rattler, maybe, just maybe, we can get something half decent. Well, I feel like Derek Harmon here would actually be pretty perfect, and the Steelers are interested in Spencer Rattler. Anybody else, though, that I could potentially sneak in this deal? Maybe a Pat Freiermuth? What do you know? Can't afford them. Actually, maybe I can, if I can restructure some contracts. Like Elijah Vera Tucker's that will free up $5 million this season. So now that we can afford it, how about Spencer Rattler, DJ Jones, Jones, Kendre Miller for Harmon and Pat Freiermuth. Genuinely have no idea what to expect here, and it's not even freaking close. What if I did this though, boys? What if we swapped first round picks? Because the Steelers is currently projected to get pick number 30, and we are currently projected the number 1 overall pick. So I mean, this would be a pretty massive pick swap, and it's got it all the way in the yellow, dude. Hold the freaking phone. What if we also swapped second round pick? And keep in mind, dude, these are the remaining Super Bowl champions. So with this Spencer Rattler pickup, they're trying to go back to back if they accept, which they don't. Kind of disappointed, dude. Like, is this gonna be all for nothing? You know what? What if instead you just gave me another pass rusher? How about that? I feel like this is a very, very fair deal. And like, what in the world? I'm really about to do another insane pick swap. It's in the green. Gosh dang it, dude. Like, is this actually worth it? It is a risk I am willing to take, and the trade is still declined. So what if I also swapped future first round picks? I am getting deep down the rabbit hole here, boys. Try it once again. Insanity. But with that trade, I'm also banking on us being better throughout the next few years, so maybe after all that, we end up with a higher draft pick after acquiring the Steelers selections. Now, we have another player here in Pete Werner that at this point is kind of expendable. As much as I'd hate to do it, also same thing with Riley Moss, since we have Quincy Riley and Kool-Aid McKinstry on multiple year deals behind them. Jordan Howden here too, because at the end of the day, I feel like if we're going to compete this season, which we probably won't, I feel like we need ourselves a high-rated tight end, although Max could develop behind whoever this high-rated tight end could be. And I'm not gonna lie, boys, did not expect it to be accepted straight up, but hey man, maybe we can be the one to revitalize Kyle Pitts' career. After all the moves we've made, fellas, we're now up to an 85 rated across the board. And I have to admit, I did want to try out the training camp this preseason to see how overpowered it was and see how good my team could get, but at the end of the day, I messed something up, so I'm not going to be able to try it out until next season. Which, with that said, fellas, maybe we won't even need to go through training camp next season, because maybe this could be the year we just go ahead and win the Super Bowl. 2 years would be crazy when you consider the team we started with, but what we've built up to this point, man, who knows what could happen. 10-7, dudes! We've already made the playoffs! But is it too early to go on a legitimate run? So I'm not gonna lie, dudes, we started off this season with an absolute stinker. We lost like, what, 6 out of 8 games from week 3 to 10? But to finish off the season, we won 5 in a row. It's always a great thing, you know, to be playing your best football going into the playoffs. Finished the season with the league's #2 offense, although our defense was kind of stinky. Cinema. Absolute cinema. Arch Manning, as a rookie, very easily might have won an MVP, dude. 4,700 yards, 44 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions. Brother, he might already be like a 95 overall. We'll have to check after we look at the rest of the stats. On the ground, Jeremiah Love, I told you guys he was going to have the greatest of rookie seasons. Although 3.7 yards per carry, we have seen much worse. Now, if Arch had 4,700 yards, 44 touchdowns through the air, who did the good things at wide receiver for him? It was Nick Harbor as a rookie. 24 touchdowns, you crazy boy. Like, I don't even know what to say about this, dude. Like, at the end of the day, like, who's going to win Rookie of the Year? The guy that put up 24 touchdowns, 1,600 yards, the rookie receiver, or the quarterback that might have very easily won MVP? Like, so much is going on right now, it's overstimulating me. Let's also, you know, not forget to mention Mekhi Lemon with his 94 catches, 1,000 yards, 6 tutties, and Chris Olave also being great himself, and Kyle Pitts, not too terrible his first season coming over from Atlanta. Now, defensively, who did the good things? It unfortunately looks like we're not getting much pass rush, which hopefully that can change in the upcoming seasons, because I don't think if we're not able to get to opposing quarterbacks, I don't know if we'll be able to win Super Bowl this year. Now, so much here that we have to uncover. MVP goes to Arch Manning as a rookie. You don't see that too freaking often, boys. Now, I also got to see, dude, did he win Rookie of the Year? Offensive Player of the Year goes to Nick Harbor. Arch in second. This is going to be interesting. It's going to go to Nick Harbor. Have you ever seen such in your freaking life, dude? Nick Harbor wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, all while his quarterback won MVP. How do you win NFL MVP, but at the same time, brother, not win Offensive Rookie of the Year? Like I said, dude, there's just too much going on, man. I feel like I'm scrolling TikTok. Also, can't go without mentioning that the top 4 vote getters were all Saints. Unfortunately, didn't have a Defensive Rookie of the Year. But at the end of the day, dude, I have to say that's the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life in any of these simulation rebuild videos. Offensive Rookie of the Year does not go to the NFL's MVP. I got robbed, Coach of the Year, dumb game. Which we have got to uncover here, dude. Arch, after winning MVP, he's got to be up to like a 90-something overall. He's only up to an 88. But already being a top 13 quarterback as a rookie, he's not too shabby, brother. So much to look at here, dudes. As Jeremiah Love, already up to an 83 overall superstar, actually starts with a higher dev trait than Arch Manning. Nick Harbor up to an 86, Lemon up to an 82, as the team as a whole up to an 88 overall, 89 offense, 87 defense, and brother, we are just getting started. Defense too, man. Christian Gonzalez already almost up to a 99. Derek Harmon up to an 85, but it's now time for things to get serious, boys. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really expect to make the Super Bowl this first year, so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and simulate straight to the Super Bowl, and at the end of the day, watch us get first rounded here by the 12-5 Giants. But if anything, even if that happens, boys, I think we have a legitimate shot to maybe even go 17-0 in year 3. And yep, fellas, my hypothesis was correct. Oh, you have got to be kidding me, dude. We went out, beat the 3-seed Giants, beat the 1-seed Niners, all to lose just by 5, 1 game shy of the Super Bowl. Michael Penix mad, we stole his tight end, but boys, I am telling you, next year could legitimately be the year where the Lombardi returns to New Orleans. Which first, we got to see if we get any massive dev trade increase. Hold on a second, boys. So much action right now. Arch up to a superstar. Nick Harbor up to a 90 overall superstar. Which if I generate the best lineup, he actually takes over as our wide receiver 1. Kyle Pitts, 1 season in New Orleans, already a superstar. And on defense, ooh, we had a bunch happen. Quay Walker, superstar. Leo, superstar. Kool-Aid, superstar. And Christian Gonzalez, X Factor. With the squad up to an 89 overall with a 91 offense, 87 defense. I'm telling you guys right now, with one more offseason to improve this team, I don't know how this team doesn't win a Super Bowl next season. Only 6 players need to renegotiate their contracts, which unfortunately, there's some big players in Chris Olave, Trayvon Walker, Fuaga. Obviously, beginning with Chris Olave, cannot lose him. He is the one player I told you guys from the very beginning I hope to keep around for the entirety of the rebuild, but surely he's going to take this offer, right? Thank God. Now, hopefully we can do the exact same with old Trayvon Walker here. Since he doesn't have a lot of interest in re-signing for some reason, I am going to give him a very low-risk offer. Hopefully this is enough, and it is. I think we are going to accept Fuaga's 5th-year option. These guys, they can walk. Now, Brian Brees, like, I don't want to have to pay you too much money, brother. I'll give you a 3-year deal, so I'm offering you. If you want to walk, you can walk. And apparently, he doesn't want to leave us. Which, unfortunately, that's only going to leave us with $23 million to spend in actual free agency. But hey, dude, let's see if we can cook something up here. Maybe DJ on a 1-year contract, which we barely can afford him. Which we are literally his only offer. Just like that, he accepted. Which that leads us directly into the next NFL draft. Which, funny enough, we actually ended up with 3 picks higher than the Steelers. So we won this trade big time. Although I really don't know at this point what we even need to draft, so I'm probably just going to go with best player available every time. Which this center, Josh Santos, we don't need a center, but maybe one day down the line we could use one. 38 reps of the bench press, easily the most athletic. Hopefully this isn't a schizophrenic pick. Come on, don't be a bust. He's not good. Bad pick. Hidden dev though, so not a complete waste. Now here in the second round, there's a tight end that I actually really like the look of here. Some A's, some B's, but also really, really fast. Yo, your boy actually made himself a pretty solid pick. It was all worth it in the end. 23rd in true value, I'm at 58. Hidden dev 2, 89 speed. We might end up with the best tight end room in NFL history. Dude, there is a defensive tackle here, Charlie Beckham, who benched 40 reps to 225. I mean, outside that, dude, he looks okay. So at 6'6", 353, I don't mind taking a risk here. And okay, not too shabby. Got him about 30 picks above value. Doesn't come in with hidden dev though, but I will take the 93 strength. And our last pick of the draft wasn't too bad. Again, 30 picks above value. I just got him because he had 95 speed and does have hidden development trait, which is great for a 5th round pick. So I mean, definitely not as good as last year's draft, but at the end of the day, dude, this is still solid for only having 4 picks. Who even needed this 81 rated cornerback that I could have got with my 2nd round pick? Now, this is what I was looking for, boys. I can now actually set my weekly loadout and change all of my abilities. Now with these training camp boosts finally activated, we should be able to cook. So fellas, we were able to get gold. Now it's time to see how many upgrades we actually get compared to normal, where you only get like 1 or 2 at max. Moment of the truth. Was Bingo lying? An Arch Meaning is going to get just 1 skill point. So let's see if the receiver drill is any different. We got 2 skill points, but I don't feel like it's really worth it. Did Bingo lie to me, or am I just a moron? But not too shabby, you know, when you get 2 skill points for Nick Harbor, now up to a 92 overall. Now even Arch is up to a 92. But fellas, it's beyond time here in 2027. I'm gonna call it, dude, 15 wins bare minimum. Anything under, let's say 14, and I'm gonna be disappointed. I guess 13 wins will do, since it does come with a 1st round bye. Don't know how in the world our offense got worse than last year. I'm assuming our defense got better, which I don't know what that means. 5th best defense in the league, we take it. So Arch pretty much sees same exact numbers as last year, although I think he threw like 80 less passes, 70 less passes, but with the same exact touchdown to interception ratio. I'm wondering if he genuinely can be up to a 99 overall at this point. Now on the ground, Jeremiah Love, much better season than his rookie year. Arch with 8 rushing touchdowns, basically doubling his total. Not through the air. Nick Harbor, not as good as last year, but still very good numbers. Chris Olave, not shabby. Same thing, Mekhi Lemon. Kyle Pitts, probably the best season since his rookie year. Now, any improvement in the sack department? We had multiple players with 10 plus sacks. The 2 players we acquired season number 1, I knew they were going to end up playing massive pieces for us. Look at that, dude. Back-to-back MVPs for Arch. This time, he wins Offensive Player of the Year, though. I get robbed again, man. Before we go and hopefully win the Super Bowl, let's see what Arch's overalls got up to. It's up to a 96. I mean, not even 2 full seasons in, man, and he's already a top 5 quarterback. Now, what about the team around him? It is now up to a 91 overall with a 93 offense, 89 defense. Jeremiah Love, dude, hasn't played up to his standards, but he's already up to a 91 overall X Factor. Nick Harbor at 95. Offensive line also looking phenomenal, as its lowest overall is an 82 Cesar Ruiz. And defense also gained another X Factor in Quay Walker. I mean, I just feel like, dude, this is no planet where this squad doesn't end up winning the Super Bowl. We had a close loss on Monday Night Football against the Commanders by 2. We did lose by 10 to the Colts. Lost to the Eagles and Vikings. So only 1 game we lost with more than 1 possession. And let's see who we end up getting in the divisional round. Oh, the Detroit Lions, who we actually didn't play in the regular season, so that could be a little tricky. But we are going to be a little wild here, boys, and go for it all right now, as we're going to go ahead and simulate straight to the Super Bowl and hope to God, brother, hope to God we have made it in just 3 seasons. The scenes, boys, the freaking scenes. And as proof, brother, 2 touchdown win against the Lions, 3 touchdown win against the Bucks. Now all we have to do is beat the opposite 1 seed Las Vegas Raiders. Which who in the world do they even have at this point, dude? Ginty's a monster. Max Crosby, obviously a beast. Oh, young Josh Presley has turned into quite the monster already in just 2 seasons, much like Arch has. I feel like we should be able to beat this team, though. Cause look at this, dude. As we've hit Super Bowl week, Arch Manning now an X Factor. Nick Harbor now an X Factor. Not to mention Arch Manning now a real 99 rated. Kyle Pitts an X Factor. So we have an offense with 4 separate X Factors. Any changes on defense? We still only have the 2 X Factors. No, just kidding. Leo now an X Factor. So when you combine our X Factors on defense and our X Factors on offense, we have a total of 7, dude. So there's just no way we should be losing here. It all comes down to this, brother. Can we pull off another rebuild masterclass in just 3 seasons? And it all comes down to this, fellas. as we are going to simulate to the end of this football game the most important button press of the video up to this point. Let's finish strong, boys. It all comes down to this. We are down 7-3. Ooh, having to settle for field goals right now. 1-point ball game. We're still in this, boys. 4-point ball game. Let's bring the Lombardi back to New Orleans. We take the lead. Did we win? We win. Saints, once again, Super Bowl champions in a close game against the AFC 1 seed Raiders. Yours truly pulls off a miracle once again, as in just 3 seasons, we have brought the Saints from the worst team in the NFL to the pinnacle of the National Football League. Now, hopefully you enjoyed, and if you did, you can click right here to watch me rebuild the Cleveland Browns, which actually might have ended up being more difficult than this Saints rebuild.